Alright, today we're going to be working on my Harbor Freight trailer. I've already replaced the bearings on this side, and now we're going to replace the bearings on this side, and I'll show you why in just a second. Alright, so to lift the axle up, it's not too difficult. Just place your jack underneath the axle. Just give it enough to get the wheel off the ground. And I'll show you why we're going to replace it. I'm getting a quarter turn per pull. That's not good. So the bearings have about 1,000 miles on them. When we put the trailer together, we did everything by the book. Hand greased the bearings. I think they're just garbage. So we're going to go ahead and replace those today. First thing you're going to do is you're going to remove the wheel to get the 4 lugs. And they're going to be 21 millimeter. Set the lugs aside and go ahead and remove the wheel. Alright, so this is essentially what we're working with here. You have your cover, and then there's a wheel bearing in the front, and then towards the rear there's a wheel bearing. So to get this part off right here, we're going to knock it off with a rubber mallet, and then yeah, this thing is fried. Very hard to move. Yes, we'll knock this off with the rubber mallet. There will be a bearing right here and a bearing on the rear. I'm going to go ahead and get some gloves on, because you know what they say, no glove, no love. Alright, here what we're going to do is you're just going to use a flathead screwdriver and pry and turn, and also use the rubber mallet. So keep that up, pry, turn, rubber mallet, pry, turn, rubber mallet, and then rotate the hub assembly, and eventually it will come off. Just be pretty patient. Alright, so we'll start to clean all this gunk out. To do so, I just use a little scraper and then put it into a peanut butter jar. Yeah. Once you clean some stuff off, you can see the cotter pin and the castle nut. What I do here is, mine's giving me trouble, so I just bend it into where it will fit inside of a socket and just use the impact, rip it off, and then punch it through, and it works just fine. Alright, so with the cotter pin removed, castle nut, and the washer removed, the hub assembly will slide off. And this is where our rear seal is and where the inner bearing is. To remove the rear axle bearing, I guess this would be the inner axle bearing, what you do is you slide it back on, reinsert the washer, and then the castle nut. Maybe, there you go. And then you'll give it a couple tugs. So you'll grab it at the base, and then you'll pull out like that. And you'll do that until you get the seal pops out, and then the bearing will pop out after that. So parts that we're going to replace with, these were sourced off of eBay. I got the part number from the back of the bearings I took off, and then the oil seal. You're going to need a 30 by 52 by 7. So the part of the bearing number that you're going to be looking for is 30205. And it'll come in this little retaining sleeve, and so this is what you're after. So step number 1 before you put these bearings in is you're going to hand pack them, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Now to get ready to pack the bearings, what I'm going to do is just press some grease into them. Get a base layer started before I hand pack. And we are going to put some Lucas extra heavy duty grease. Alright, hand packing is pretty simple. So you have your hand full of grease, and what you do is you will just press along the corners until you see grease starting to come out the sides, and you just use the excess. All right, next up, you take your hub and you place one of your packed bearings inside. This is the rear, and then the seal will go over the top of this. Next, you're going to go ahead and insert the rear seal into the back until it is flush. Next, I'm going to prime up the inside of the axle, the bearing assembly, with grease. So that's just, it's less pumping I will do later. You'll go ahead and slide the assembly on. You're gonna get a little stuff on you. There's no point in cleaning it until after you get the outer bearing set. Like that. So the outer bearing is set. Now you can get some of this extra grease off until you get your castle nut on. Next, you add your washer and then your castle nut. There it goes. Alright, here all we're doing is pumping grease into the axle. So you'll pump, you'll spin, pump, spin, distributing grease throughout the inside of the hub. After you're all greased up, what you're going to do is you're going to clean the dust cap and set it back on. Find you your trusty mallet. I have to clean up any excess just because I hate touching that crap. Alright, as you can see, it's turning a little bit smoother now. And we have replaced the nipple cap on the rear. There is no play, so the hard part is done. I'm going to put the wheel on. Find your lugs. So just for comparison, you can see how, so before I was getting a quarter turn, now with the same force, much better. So fuel economy for the towing rig should get better, and the trailer should feel a little less stress than normal. So cool, that completes my video. If you have any questions, please comment below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. Thanks for your time, guys. Have a good day.